Hello YouTubers, good morning. I just thought I would bring you a video today. I am making and working my way through my children and my son-in-law and my grandchild, and making them for their main Christmas. Every year we always buy main Christmas presents and then lots of stocking fillers. And I've already done my 21-year-old son. He likes penguins, so I've done him a penguin, and it's basically, I've turned it into a key ring afterwards if he wants it, to keep it, and he's going to put, and that'll go on his main Christmas present tied on with ribbon. I've got one of these little eyelets that I'm putting into the top of each one, if you can see that. And then they can either have it as a magnet or as a key ring. So I'm just doing my son-in-law's, and he's heavily into Pickle Rick. So I just wanted to come and show you what, I mean, I've never made a Pickle Rick before. I mean, I have never even seen a programme of Pickle Rick, so I'm not actually, I don't have a clue really when it comes to Pickle Rick. So I found a picture on the internet, which I'm told is very, very close to what he looks like. So we're going to follow that. So I've got my greens all set out here. All my different greens, that one and that one. He's got a light blue eyebrow for the centre of his eyes and the back of his mouth. That one is for his eyes, because his eyes are slightly off white. That one's for his teeth. Now I've only got a sparkly one, so you'll have to put it with sparkly teeth, I'm afraid. And that's what there is to it. I do need a ring, a red, which I've only got a red sparkly one again, but it's his tongue is so small I don't think it will really particularly matter. These are the ones that I've used differently. Okay. So I'm just going to recondition all of these, and then I will be back and we'll start building them together. I would have released a film last week, ladies and gentlemen, which I was going to do, and I actually recorded it. And it was for different high gloss finishes, so varnish, Mod Podge indoor, Mod Podge gloss, Mod Podge outdoor, UV resin, dried under a lamp and in the window. When I came to turn the video off, I hadn't actually pressed the record button, so I'd done the entire thing and hadn't recorded nothing. So I will release one, but obviously I've got nothing left to gloss at the moment because I'm quite good at keeping on top of it. So I will, as soon as I have something to gloss, or I need 5 items I'm happy to do, then we'll go from there, and I will make the video. It'll be over the next couple of days. So I do apologise about that, ladies and gentlemen, but I was absolutely devastated when I looked. So, right, so I'm going to recondition these through the pasta machine, and I'll be back and we'll go through from there. Right, so, hello, back again. So, this, at the moment, I'm using Arteza Clay. It's lovely, lovely and soft. I mean, and that's not, I haven't had to recondition that, that's just how it is. Really, really nice. And it comes in this beautiful box set, which is lovely. Arteza, 42 oven-baked colours. They come in smaller packets. So that's like 1/2 of a Fimo normal packet, 52 grams. Or 53 grams, I think Fimo is. So if you technically wanted to look at it like that, that makes roughly 1 Fimo block. Just roughly, give or take a gram or two. 42, that means you're paying for 21 Fimo size blocks of clay. And this was £24.99. Or £23.99, something like that. So it works out an extremely low price. So, and they are fantastic, and the colour range that you get is phenomenal. I mean, I'm down to my last few now, and I've actually started using the box as a bit of a dumping ground, but I stick them to the edges that are open, and then I can see what I've actually got in there and what I haven't. It's beautiful. I would recommend it to anyone. My only issue, these are all the colours that you get. My only issue is that you only get like 1 white, like 2 whites, 1 black, and you can't buy them individually. If you could buy them individually, that would be great. Then I would know that I've got enough to do whatever I want. There's such an array of colours to start with that you don't need to mix up any. it really is good. And it also comes with these plastic tools here, which are really good. And I've actually given these to my daughter, and she thinks they're great because they're hers. And in all honesty, I like to work with metal tools, but it doesn't need to mean to say that I won't use them, because at some point, no doubt, I will. Because like the sort of edge in there, if you can, is surrogated if you can see it. Okay, and it also came with a bag full of these little eyelets, the ones that you use to connect to a mobile phone, earring back, like the hooks, loads of little bits and bobs and everything all in a bag, key ring thing. So fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Like I say, my only bugbear is that it doesn't come in like single packs, so I can order whatever it is that I want, because I would probably maybe switch over to this full time if it did, because it's so soft on my hands and my arthritis can cope with it very well. It really is lovely stuff. So that's enough about that one. So that's what we're using today. So here's my piece of Arteza, big fat piece of green. There you are, look. Now it's got a little bit of another green mixed in with it, if you can see that. I'm not going to worry about that because he's a pickle, and I'm sure he's not supposed to be all the same colour. So basically what I'm going to do first is just roll it into a sausage shape. And that's the other thing with the Arteza Clay. It moulds beautifully, and if you've got a crease and you just look at that, just goes away. Just a gentle, there look, all gone. I mean, my reviews on it are outstanding. They really are outstanding. But at the same time, I'm so disappointed because... oh, it's got some black mixed in with that. Must have had it on my hand. That'll be alright. Yeah, so disappointed because it doesn't come in any other colours. Okay, so you want it as a... or not any other colours, but singular colours. Okay, so... if you find it needs looking a bit thin one end, just push it back down. Just simply like that. Okay. So there is my pickle. He's a bit on the grubby side, but it won't matter because I shall mica powder him afterwards anyway. So I'm not throwing him out for that. And then just gently wind, like brush him down. It's because I'm really annoyed that that's got black in it. Well, it might be a darker green. I added my green scraps to it. That's probably my own fault then. Okay. Now, like I say, bear with me because I've never made one of these before. It's not something that I really sort of envision doing. Right, first off I'm going to put this in. And I'm going to glue it in and then cover it over because I'm going to use Mod Podge for this. Because then when it goes in the oven and cooks as well. I've made it into a hook because I feel like it will just pull out if it's a straight pin. So I'm just going to rub it through the glue. There we go. Oh. Right, pick your best end. I don't think it matters. I've got an air bubble there. Look like get rid of that. And then I just literally push it through, twist, and pull. And what that does is just tightens it up, like sort of. If you push it in and then pull it back out, it will just come straight back out because of the path it's gone in on. If you twist it round, then pull it back out, that hook where it's bent over will hook into the clay. Make sure it's in the middle and you're happy where it is, and then just literally push them together. I've got glue squidging out of mine, but that won't matter. I didn't use that much glue, but it's you just roll it in with your tools because you can straighten it out afterwards. This stuff is very easy to use. There we go. Just rolling the clay, and it's just closing the hole. There we go, how's that? I think that's pretty good. Make sure the glue hasn't filled up the eyelet, otherwise you'll be in trouble. You won't be able to. It's going quite a bit deep. There we go, just pull it out just a little bit. There. So I'm happy with that. So when it goes into the oven, it will go like concrete. And I've glued it in, so there'll be no way of pulling it out. There we go, look. And then just give it a little bit of a squeeze at the top. That just ensures that it's nicely packed. Just drop that down again. I'm going to twist it again. That might stop it from doing that. Maybe it's the way I'm wrong with it. I don't know. Probably me. It's not sitting there straight, I know that. Right, there we go. I'm going to leave it at that now. And the glue will dry in there and hold it in anyway. Right, okay. Okay, so what we've got is a Pickle Rick without any face. Now, I quite like this green bit down the front here, but he does have quite a large green bit down the front. So we're going to put that on. Black over my hand, look. I'm just going to wipe that off with my trusty pack of baby wipes that I have down the bottom there. Don't know where that came from. Probably off the black. So while I'm here, I'm just going to clean the rest of my hands. You should keep a pack of baby wipes or a wet cloth or some description in your desk somewhere, because you're always going to use it. Right, okay. And I have to keep a tray over the top of my bin, because our dog likes baby wipes. Right, I also keep a towel on my lap, so if I've got anything on my hands I need to dry them, or I've got glue on them, or anything like that, I've got just an old towel that I can use to... Right, now this, I'm just literally stretching it out to what I think as if it should be wider in places. Just stretch it a bit wider. Very simply, I have learned fairly early on that this bit doesn't matter. Looking at the pictures, as per se, there's no actual sort of particular green stripe. Ooh, catch that tool. So all I do is I just go along and I do cut and shape the edges. He doesn't want lots of bits, if you see what I mean, like that. So I just try and make it one full piece that's fairly smooth around the edges. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit of a faffer. You don't have to do this bit if you don't want to. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, that's the great thing about clay creations. You are completely in control. Okay, right, the smooth your edges down. You don't want it a bit of a step. You want it sort of mould into him when you put it on. Right, I'm happy with that. It's just... oh, my puppy's awake. Right. That wasn't very clever, was it? There we go. There we go. I'm going to use this to get it off the... and transport it over. There are some awfully dark patches in this. And I'm going to lay it from the back because I know that that's flat. I know. There we go, like. like so. Now that's the other good thing about these the Arteza clay. It sticks to itself very, very, very well. Very well. See, look, no glue necessary, no nothing, and it's very, very simple, very easy. It really is sticky, but only to itself. If it gets too warm, it can get a little sticky on your hands, which I have found I just use corn flour. Okay, so there we go. Just make sure it's stuck down well. And then what I do is I roll him, because I want to make sure that that's sort of nice and flat. Make sure it's stuck down, because sometimes it can push it up. Okay. And if you live in a house, you always have to watch out for dog hair. Everything you do, it's in your food, it's in your clay, it's everywhere. I think next time I'm going to buy a poodle, because they don't molt. Or one of them non-molting poodles. No, I love our dogs. So for most of you all know that my little puppy went for a castration last Wednesday, which was 10 or more days ago now. And he had one of his man parts floating, so he had to go and have it removed before it caught and strangled, which is pretty painful and life-threatening as far as I'm aware. So we had to go and pay and have that done, which wasn't an issue. But we've actually discovered since then that our puppy's got some sort of mental health issues, which you wouldn't believe it, but he has. And he's now been medicated, and he's turned into, I mean, if you look in previous videos, you'll be able to see him barking at me, and, you know, right from when he was very, very little, actually, he's on here. But he's turned into a 7-month-old, beautiful, he's gorgeous, and I wouldn't change him, but he's about 45 kilos now, and he's only 7 months old, so we've got a little bit of growth to go yet. And he actually nibbled on my husband quite hard. So we went to the vets, they've been fantastic, and he's now on a pretty strong drug just to calm him down, and it's working beautifully, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say, he's a joy to be around, and at one point we were a bit, couldn't really sort of cope with him, and we're not ones to give up on pets. If you buy a pet, or you get a pet, and you're having problems, work through it. 9 times out of 10, it's not their fault. But, I mean, there's going to be times that, I've just pushed that in, there's going to be times that working through it just isn't going to work, and sometimes there are circumstances where you have to get rid of them. But it's not something that I want to do with him. So, he's such a big dog, I don't know whether he'd even be able to be rehoused. And anyway, I think about rehousing him, it makes me feel really icky. So, we're keeping an open mind, but right now everything is working great. I don't want to say it too loudly. This is not working good. This isn't working great though. Right, let's try that again, shall we? There's an air bubble there. Just pop any air bubbles you find, and then just sort of work it back over and the hole will disappear. If you don't pop the air bubbles when you see them, you will end up in trouble. Sorry, I don't mean to whittle on folks about, I don't even know if you can, oh bless you, can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to try that again. He's on the move, there we go. Ernie! Ernie! Come on, baby. I don't know what he's doing. I'll have to have a look in a minute, I think. Right, that looks a bit better. Maybe the glue made it a bit squidgy, I don't know. Okay. So, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put his mouth on. Okay, yeah, I think that's all good. Hair from the side there, look. Right, so I'm going to leave you folks to recondition your black, and I will see you back here in a minute. See you in a minute. Right, I've been in to recondition some of my clay, so it's all nice and pliable now, or softer than it was. So I've rounded off 2 little balls out of the off-coloured white that I rolled earlier and made earlier, because his eyes aren't white, they're just slightly off-coloured. So making sure this bit is down the very front of the body, the light purple bit here, I'm going to use a ball tool, quite a large one, because I want him to sit in his head a little bit. And I'm going to do 1, 2. Right, I've left a bit of a gap between them, but so that is because you've got to fit a nose in there somewhere. So I've just got to kind of sink into his head a little bit. Like that. I'm quite pleased with those. Right, now a little nose. It's just the same colour as his body, so we'll use this colour, because this is the same as his... Oh, no, it's not. Is that one? The hair in it? Yeah, that one would be alright. So it's just a little snippet I noticed, and it's just kind of a bit on the rounder side, with a sort of almost a little bit like a tear shape. Like that. If you can see that. It's quite small. You can see it on the end of my finger. Okay. Right, I'm going to fit that. It goes right up between his eyes. Oh goodness, I've lost my tool now. Where's it gone? Ah. Okay, so perhaps that's a little bit high, but we'll pull that out and just put it a little bit lower. Okay. Make sure it's in the right place. And don't bruise an eye, like I've just done. So I have to take his nose off now to unbruise his eye. Oh, now I've red blackened it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going well. Right, I'm going to keep that in the middle there, because he does have black dots on his eyes. And I'm going to clean my hands again. My goodness, what a fiasco. Bit of a pickle there, wasn't it? And I think that's because that tool has had black on it. Let's just see if we can rub it off with a bit of baby white. Yeah, it's coming off. There we go. And actually I've managed to smooth it when I was there, so I'm going to do the other one as well. That's a good hack, isn't it? It'll probably make clay sticky though, so do be careful. Right, so that's that done. So make sure it's all in properly, and then now we're going to put our nose back on. So we're just going to pretend that last bit didn't happen. See, so it does happen to everybody. It's not just you. If you get really completely hacked off with it, don't give up. Because it's not just you that it happens to, it happens to me too. Okay. So I'm just going to squidge his nose up a little bit, because I don't think it's that lot. I might have to re-roll it. Yes. Goodness me, I'm struggling this morning. Things just are not going according to plan. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. Because looking at the picture, it's quite boldly sort of big. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, I'm happy with that. You can't see it. Okay, there we go. Use your tool if you need to, but that's where I ended up getting into a pickle last time. I once watched a film on YouTube, or a video on YouTube, and it said try and use your fingers as much as you can rather than a tool, because you sort of learn to like feel the clay, and you know what's meant to be and what's not, and you learn to sort of treat your fingers as your tools. Right, mouth. So now this is the bad bit, because I hate black because it just gets on everything really badly. So the ones I've seen just have it placed over that. Trouble is, I'm a bit more like, I like to have a bit of a dip in the mouth. So I'm just going to put a dip in, not a massive one, just with a tool. Like so. It sort of allows you to get a feel for where you want, if you can see that. And I haven't lowered the camera now, like that. I'm terrible. Oh, my brain is just not working today. Right, okay. So you don't want a massive piece, and you don't want it very thick, by the looks of that. So literally, all you're doing is just making a piece. Now, I would always say to you, never ever ever mix your clays. But because I'm at the end of my Arteza and I've only got selected colours, I'm in a bit of a conundrum. So I'm mixing my clays. I will show you later on if it doesn't work and what happens. If it does work, excellent, go for it. But if it doesn't, I will tag on the end of this film what happened to it if it doesn't work. But I think what will probably happen is that because the Arteza has to be cooked for 15 minutes to 30 minutes on 165, and the Fimo is 110 for 30 minutes, well, I think what will probably end up happening is that Fimo might burn. So I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to put some foil over it. So we'll see what happens from there. Right, that's the sort of shape that we want, but it's huge. So I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to cut it that shape. Or, of course, the other thing that could happen is that it won't go hard. But we'll have a look at that in a bit. Right, so I've cut it out, and I'm just going to flatten it down, like so. Right. I reckon that's too much of a dip in the middle there. Let's cut those bits a bit lower. That's better. Sorry, I've had to turn the telly on for my dogs. I say dogs. But my old lady, who's 5 this month, she just sleeps anyway. Lazy Rottweiler. Only, however, listens, and that's my doorbell. Who are you dropping things in my letterbox? Because I'm disabled and I can't get to the door. It's great because it's an intercom and everything my husband's fitted me with, so I can sort of see who's at the door, what they're doing. There's probably a bit of junk there actually. Okay, so that looks a bit more acceptable to me. It's nice and rounded on the edges, nice and even. That might still be a bit big. Ernie! No, I think that'll be alright. I think that. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, see? Wipe your hands.
Right.
Oh, God. Where did you come from?
Kitchen television.
Right, okay, people. So, this is what we've got so far. Got his eyes in, got his mouth, although it's a bit skewy. It's there. Put it down a little bit, do what you need to do, but see how it dips in slightly where I made that slight indent? I like that. I don't like it just being flat. But you could put it flat if you wanted to. Right, now bear in mind, people, when you have, and you're working with black, be careful, because everything around him, around the bit you're working with black, goes black. Okay, so just be aware of that. So get rid of those holes, which I popped some... some little bubbles. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is his teeth. I'm going to put his teeth on next. No, put his tongue on next, because that seems to look and sort of come in from the side. Okay, so this is what we've got. So I'm going to break a small bit off because it's very, very small. And this dyes your hands as well, if you can see that. Okay, so just to flatten it out, nice and flat. Okay, then with your knife, just cut what I would think is what looks to me like it needs flattening off a little bit in the end. Okay, so just like that, flatten it again because you want the edges, you don't want it sort of stuck up. And if you're using your finger to cut like I am, be careful, because you don't want, again, to end up with a cut finger. Okay. And again, this is in Fimo because I haven't got a little bit thinner. I haven't got any red in the other one left over in the Arteza. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So just remember, if you touch anything right now, you are contaminated with red. Okay. So as far as I can tell, I'm going to just wipe my hands because I don't want to make, I can't hide anything red like I could if it was, say, a black or a darker green or something like that. Okay. So just give everything a good wipe over. The edge of my blade is red. And then a little patch here, look, so I'll just wipe that up because when we do something else in a minute, I don't want it to be a different colour. Look at the state of that. Now I scrubbed this, it's all been disinfected beforehand. So it's not good. And check your knife. So I'm just going to wipe it over anyway for the sake of wiping it. There we go. Alright, so it's through that way. There we go. So dry your hands, otherwise it makes clay sticky. If you find that your green bit here is going off to the side, twist it. See? Very easily twist around and it fits on then. Like that. Right, so let's get this tongue fitted. So it looks like it comes in around about there. So just like that. And then we're going to put his teeth on next. Okay, so let's put him to one side. Now teeth. All you want to do is roll a little bit in your hands. Obviously when you roll it, it'll warm it up so it'll make it a little bit easier, because again, I'm using Fimo. And then use your board and then just roll it. You just want a very, very thin roll. In fact, we could probably get rid of that bit because we don't need all that. And you just want it very small, just so it's sort of teeth size. And they're not sharp or anything like that, so I'm just going to come along, let's just check that that's about the right size. Yeah, happy with that. So cut the end off because you don't want it sharp, and then just cut yourself, what's you got, 3, 4, 5 on the top and 4 on the bottom. So they're all different sizes, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I'm going to cut that one a little bit thinner. Okay, don't dispose of that because you may need it if something goes wrong. Okay, so we're going to come along now, and all I'm going to do is pick up each one, and I'm just going to flatten it, like so. And then we're going to very carefully, without throwing it around, Lisa, very carefully, look, pick it up and place it. Now, they don't go right to the edge. They are just kind of in the middle. Now, don't forget we're going to stick an out around, we've got something around the outside of this, so don't panic if it doesn't look right at the moment. So that's 2, if you can see that. Three. You want to try and keep it to the black line as close as possible. I don't know what's happened to that one. Three. Oh dear, just dropped a tooth. 4. Right, I think some of these are a bit big, so what I'm going to do is like just cut them in half. Because I don't want really massive ones. Okay. 5. So that's 5 on the top. Just make sure the tops of them are well stuck down. Alright, and he's going to have 4 on the bottom. So I'm going to flatten 4 so I can stick them straight on. I'm just going to flatten all of them, and then I can pick the colours and the shapes I want. Okay, because it's the bottom, I don't want 2, so we're going to have 1. Right, I know one of them goes over the edge of his tongue. Just at the start of it there. 2. Let's put a little one next to it. Oh my goodness, this is very fiddly, folks. Don't give up though. Oh my goodness, I am really struggling. Okay, what did I just do with that little one that fell off? No, I think that's gone. So I've cut myself another small one. Nice thin one. Just to fit in there. So then make sure they're sort of defined. Use a pokey tool for that. Sorry folks, I'm a bit of a heavy breathing today, or I normally heavy breathe normally, but I've got a bit of a cold come in, courteous of my daughter going back to school. Everybody else has had it and I thought I got away with it. I'm feeling a bit bunged up, so I do apologise about that. Okay, so that's what we've got, which I think looks okay. So now I'm going to clear these little white bits away because I don't want to contaminate them. I'm actually going to put those back in my little my box because I don't want them to get contaminated, those ones. Okay, so now we're going to do little very small pupils. Let me just have a look. Turn the picture back on. Well, they're not as small as I thought they were going to be. Try and get them the same sort of size if you can. Yep, I'm happy with those. Although they might be, yeah, they're too big. Just sort of pop them on and tap them down. Pop them on. Make sure they're round. Oh. This is a very, very fiddly Pickle Rick. Okay, let's try that again. Ah, no, the other one's come off. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. I won't mind looking over there, up, over that direction, because the pictures I've seen, that's what he's doing. Right, I think they look pretty cool. Right, with the colour of the outside of him, right, get that black off of it, look, contaminated, which I think is this colour, this colour. We're going to roll some out because we're going to put some around his mouth and just a little bit under his... Did she put it under his eyes? Yeah, 2 bits under it. Oh, I don't know. No, that might just be marked. We'll mark that in a minute. Okay, so let me move him to one side. And a nice thin piece to go around his mouth. So let's pull that bit off. Okay. So I'm going to start here. Oh my goodness. This is the first Pickle Rick I've made, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's probably going to be the last. Right, that had a fat piece on it, I didn't like that. Okay, right, here we go. Just taking it round his mouth. Like so. It's got to sort of come to the outsides of it because there we go, it's coming out along, that's it. Okay. Okay, so just sort of tapping it down nicely so it looks like it's meant to be. Use a tool if you have to, just to... Okay, I'm going to just dip that there because that's where it's if you can see that as we do it. It's got to cover the black. Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, this has just gone completely Pete Tong, I think. Might be able to save it. Okay, I think we might have just got away with that. Okay, and under his eyes, we're just going to put some lines, which we're going to use this, not this tool for. So it's nice and sort of slim. Although I'm not happy with that there. Let's straighten that bit out before I start another bit, otherwise it becomes too much to sort out. I don't want it to come out past there really, so just want it under his eye a little bit. That's it. Okay. I'll go in with my bigger tool in a bit and I'll just straighten everything up a little bit. It's got like bags under his eyes. Okay, that one's a bit neater actually. Right, let me go in and just clean up. Might use a broom. No, I use this. Okay, let's start this side. If you can see that, just gently, very, very gently, straightening it out, making sure his nose is still in the right place. Okay. The trouble is with this bit, I can't get my finger in there to like soften it up a little bit. So what I might use is a little brush in a minute, because it just kind of softens where I can't touch. I want a fairly short brush. That will do. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to gently just rub it and brush it. If you do it too hard, you will leave brush marks in it. But sometimes a brush mark is a little bit better than a great big crease. There we go. Make sure you go all the way around and make sure that that black is hidden within. Obviously you don't want it too thick either. There we go, that's a lot better, isn't it? Okay, so now on the top we're going to put, he has, let's just put him to one side, a blue, make sure your finger's clean, because this picks up dirt. This is like a very pale blue, but it picks up dirt as much and as fast as the white does. So we're just going to break a small amount off. You only want to make a small, it's like one piece that goes over the top of his eyebrows. So just a small piece. I don't like messing about with it because I don't want it to end up. Right, okay. So I'm going to break that off there. And we'll just see. Right, so it might not be thick enough. That might well be. There we go. So you want it sort of pointy on each end. You can see what I'm doing there. And then that literally, see now mine's not long enough, it's too long, and it's not fat enough I don't think. Just looking at the picture. It's a little bit fat I think. I'll probably just pull too much off again. Oh my goodness. How could one think and realise it was so much aggro just for an eyebrow? Right, now this goes from the middle of the first eye to the middle of the second eye roughly. And it's quite high up, so about... Well, it's a little bit too long this one. Okay. That is now. Like that, I believe. It's probably still too long. Sorry, Mr. Pickle Rick, I'm not happy. And if you're anything like me, I can't leave it knowing it's not right. Right, let's put them bits over on there so we don't lose them. It's the same colour as my kitchen roll. Right. That's definitely too long now. That looks like it could be. Maybe that's where I was going wrong. It was too... Well, that's too long. But the other one was too rounded, maybe. It seems to be quite flat. Okay, let's try that. Oh, itchy nose. Right, that is more dog hair in that bit. Let's move that. Right, just gather in all your pieces so you don't lose them. Wow, for a Pickle Rick I thought I'd have him made in 5 minutes, but it's because I like to make sure everything's right that I do. And looks good. Okay. That's not long enough. There we go. Okay, and with my little tool I'm just going to make sure that the ends are nice and pointed. That's it. Okay. No, it doesn't look thick enough. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely not thick enough now. It's because I want to get it right. I want it to be right. Let me just cut that bit off. Okay. Try that again. Right, that's contaminated green now. Let me try half of this bit and see what that looks like. I think I'm making it too thin, so it's not rounded enough. Not rounded, flat enough, sort of. Okay, let's try that. I'm going to drop that down and I'm going to flatten it out and point the ends. Yeah, I think I'm overthinking it, is what the problem is, so I'm just going to pull that off and I'm going to stick it on. Okay, there we go. Right, so I'm going to just straighten it down and do the same this side. Okay, and that's it. There you go, there's your Pickle Rick. I think he looks pretty good, to be honest. Right, now the only thing we've got left to do is put some colour on him. So he's all different shades of green. So we'll have a look and see what we've got. Okay. Go to my Arteza powders. Clear my desk off a minute. So I want some greens. So if you can see, we've got a few to pick from. It's a nice green, good bright one. Lettuce green. That pleased my husband, he hates lettuce. Any darker greens? What's that one? Seafoam green. Try that one, give it a go. And emerald green or turquoise. I don't think he's really a turquoisey kind of character. Emerald green, I don't know. I'd need to look at the colour on that one because it looks bluey to me. But we'll have a look at that one. I think there's aqua blue, turquoise. I think that's probably the colours we'll use. We don't want to sort of dust him down with too many and kind of lose him within. I'm going to put that back up there so we don't lose it. Right, so this one, I'm going to have a look at this one first because I think that's blue, not green. Oh, it's like a bluey green. I don't think that's the colour we're looking for though. Okay, so I'm going to put that one back. So it gives us 3, which I think is good. So I'm going to brush these on, but I'm going to very loosely brush them on. I need a biggish brush. That one. No, I don't like that one. This one is actually a makeup brush, which is the one I usually use, which I think I'm going to use this time. So I'm going to start with the brightest colour. And I always take it out the lid first. You don't want too much on your brush. And then I knock it off. So we end up like that. And I'm just going to gently sort of rub it, sort of put it on all over the place. Right, that's not going to work very well, so I need to get a little bit more on my brush. I can always add more, but I can't take it off, is the way I look at it. It just gives him different sort of depths of green, I think, really, doesn't it? In different areas. You can always, as well, if you find you've got a patch of it, rub it with your finger. That sort of sorts it out. And try and get a little bit of continuity going on if you can. So if you put some one side, put some the other side as well. So some on the back. Oh, that's better. That's gone on better, hasn't it? Okay, so what I do normally is knock it off. There's dog hair on there now, look. Goodness sake. I have to get that out. I can't leave that on there. Okay. Let's just rub that down. And that should just... There we go. So just sort of rub it over. Right, now the other problem we're going to have is when we bake it, I don't want it to go flat. So I don't quite know how I'm going to do that. I might sit him in something. Oh my goodness, it's back. The hair. The infamous hair. The infamous dog hair. Ah, right. Got it this time. Oh, look, and there's another one. Won't be as bad. But it's hoovered up every day, and they're not even in here. And they're not even long furred. Another one. I don't know. Monkeys. Right, so let's go back to it now. So I'm just going to put one more little bit on there at the top here. And a little bit at the bottom. Okay. Oh, he's being naughty. Being a naughty boy. Okay. So that's that colour. I'm going to go for the next colour down now, which is this one. Spring green. What can you even see over there? There we go. Spring green. Oh dear. So I'm going to dip into that one. And I'm going to do basically the same again, so it's all over him. So he's got different sort of greens all over. If it drops some on the table, scoop it off the table. Don't waste it. These things don't come cheap. So when you sort of get them, you have to look after them. I'm sure Pickle Rick isn't supposed to be shiny and like metallic-y, but I think it's a nice finish, to be honest. And then tomorrow, or later on when I, oh, don't want that much, when I baked him, then I shall top coat him. Which I shall do a video about the top coats, but I've just got to get a few bakes under my belt. I need 5 really, so I can do the 5 that I quite like to do. So you can just see the results of it, that's all. Right, when you put it on, try not to get it over his white bits or any other colours, because you don't want it to change the colour of it. And don't forget his bottom, because otherwise you'll have a plain bottom. There we go. A little bit around his back. Okay. So he's really starting to look good now. I'm really, really pleased with him. Like I say, and this will be hung on my son-in-law's main Christmas present. And then he can have it, and he's going to turn it into a... He wants a key ring, so... Let's get his top lip under his eyes. Okay. Oh, that's coming out a bit goldy. Yes. And then when you rub it in, it sort of flares off. Beautiful colour. Pulled the dog hair off before it got stuck. Monkeys. As well, by using the brush, it kind of smooths everything out. So you shouldn't have any stress lines in there if you don't want them in there. If they're not meant to be there, it just sort of takes everything out, which is obviously always a good thing. Right, okay, I'm going to have a look and see if I can find a darker green, So I just feel like a darker green over that would really sort of complement it. So I'm just going to make sure that's all powdered in. And I think he's so thick that when I do bake him, I think he'll be able to lay down and he won't go flat. Right, I need a dark green. Turquoise. I'll pull it out because we'll see what colour it is. Emerald green was the one we put back. Oh, I can't see another green in there. Aqua blue. Got chameleon green. That's like. I'll pull it out and see. Purple, blue, gold. I think. Oh, moss green. Perfect. Laurel green. I have to check these colours before we use them, but at least we found a couple. That's good. Like this one. That's quite a nice dark green. Okay, so we'll try that because I just feel like he's just very bright. And he just needs dulling down a little bit here and there. Oh, that definitely works well. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Okay. You just don't want it all the same. Don't want them all the same colour. You want a sort of a mismatch of different colours, really. When you're holding him, obviously be careful you don't knock an eye or something. That would be terrible. Right, I'm going to take that off there because I don't want to waste it. Okay. I think what I've ended up doing is going down his belly a little bit and I'm losing that green line. I'll look in a minute and see if I can put some lighter green back on that one patch. Okay, so this is moss green, so I'll try a bit of that around the sides. See what we come back with. Oh, it's a different kind of green, look at that, that's nice. I didn't think that could be the only greens in there. Just seemed very odd. Okay. There we go. Now these will really ping out when you've cooked them. When he's been in the oven. I've got green fingers now. Then it will really sort of show the colours up. A little bit much, I think I put on there. Just get at the end of his tip of his nose. It makes it look like it hasn't been forgotten. Right, I'm going to put the... Oh, look at my fingers. I'm going to put that back on. Now I'm going to open up the brightest green because I want to just go down that tummy bit again and see if I can get it to stick. Once it's baked, if you find that you have got colour over the eyes or anything like that, don't panic. Use a little bit of vodka or something and that will get it off. Oh, like I've just got it over his teeth. Oh, that's annoyed me. You can use vodka before it goes in or after, it's up to you. I think I probably used a little bit too much then. Ooh, got a bit inundated with it. I like to use it before it goes in, but that's just personal choice. Okay, and there we have it. One Pickle Rick, which I'm going to go and bake, and we'll see what comes out afterwards. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe. I'm going to be doing some other sort of Christmassy bits, and I want to try some more Disney pieces. I've still got my granddaughters to do, and my daughter, and my other daughter. So I've still got some other bits to do, which I think I've got to do Chewbacca. Oh, goodness help me. And I've got to do something out of Frozen, I think, or there was something else she was interested in. I don't know. I'd have to ask my daughter. And my actual older daughter quite likes Ariel, so I think I'm going to have to do something with that. I'm sort of leaning towards Sebastian, because he's pretty cool, and I like Sebastian. So please subscribe, hit that like button, show me your pics, show me what you've done as well. Let me see, because I'm quite pleased with him. As a first make, I don't think he's too bad. Could I do better? Probably if I did him again now. There's a couple of little bits that I'm not overly pleased with, but as far as first time makes, especially as a character I have no idea about, I don't think he's too bad. Very pleased. Hopefully my son-in-law will be as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, whichever you would like to do, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.